Alicia, and welcome to TISH Talks Tech. We have with us our very special guest today, which is Rituraj Mahato, and he's coming to us live today, and we are so ecstatic to just visit with them and really there's just a whole thing going on. This is a very talented individual, a mainframer. He's in his third year of school, and we were just talking, Rituraj, you were saying, put in the work. What's 4 to 5 years when you know that you're going to reap the benefits later? So welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for the intro. And I really like the whole initiative of the TISH Tech Talks because I always think like nowadays it's the era of podcast and video content. Like people really like the video content. So most of the influencers and creators are moving towards the video content. So I think that's a really good initiative taken by you. As I have seen other contents in Mainframe, like I am a Mainframe Podcast by 𝗕𝗫𝗽𝗍𝒬, and those kind of content needs to be generated much more often to get more benefit out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I particularly prefer video. I love being able to interact with folks and being face-to-face as well as on video. I say face-to-face because we're pretty face-to-face virtually, but it just seems to go a little more smoother. And I find that reading is more of an intimate thing, and I like to read my newsletters and things later on in the evening when it's nice and quiet and I can kind of take it all in. But when it comes down to the video content, this is it for me. So I certainly do appreciate you coming by. And I just want to jump right in because I know it's late where you are. So let's get going. I'd like to know what inspired you to pursue a career in mainframe. And with this technology, how did you find your way and get started in this field?
So it all started with the IBM Systems Ambassador Program, where I was introduced to this amazing technology on which the world's economies depend. I always wanted to work in technology, which is why I chose to pursue computer science and engineering after completing high school. As a student, I was looking for opportunities to learn and explore new things in this technological world. As an IBM Systems ambassador, I was given access to inter-skill learning and invited to many mainframe events featuring IBMers. I took every single opportunity available to me at that time, and thus that's the reason I am here today. I understood that these systems will need people in the workforce in the near future, and there is a skill gap that results in better compensation and more opportunities. That's why I chose to give it a try.
Oh, that's excellent. I talk about it a lot. There is nothing but opportunity on mainframe. And when students actually get to touch it, get to feel it, and understand some of the nuances about Z systems, you really start to gravitate to it. And it almost chooses you. The mainframe chooses you. And so obviously you're a very talented individual and it chose you. So tell me, how often do you find yourself having to study? Because again, I want to get back to that 4 to 5 years we talked about with the exchange of, traditional, I'm in college and I'm partying versus I'm in college and I'm chasing the bag. Tell me about that.
So currently the scenario is quite different. If I say frankly, I am living two lives. One as a life of an IBM champion where I have responsibilities to learn because I don't want to take that recognition for granted. Like most of the people lose the whole talent just because they think it's the end. It's not the end. It's just the beginning. When I told this thing to my mentor at my university, he told me, look, Rituraj, you were not chasing the thing. You didn't become champion. You didn't become champion just because you wanted to. You became champion just by a cause. They chose you. You just did your work. So that's the whole thing. We have to do our work and we don't have to chase the thing. Nowadays, what I am seeing most of the students are doing, they wanted to get into these ambassador programs, their internships just for the rewards. They get the reward, the thing is done. Now they are okay. We don't need anything. We just need the merchandise. I always thought that
Ooh,
I didn't have any merchandise, but still IBM was there in my mind. And now I don't ever need any merchandise. I don't need to purchase any because I will be getting it soon. So that's the idea. I never chase
yes.
that. That's the biggest thing. When we
Oh,
chase the thing, then it's just like you did get the thing, you are satisfied, and now you're not doing work. Now you will be doing and something else, and that breaks the chain. So
right.
to keep learning, you have to embrace those changes which you are getting. And the main problem for me would be obviously the academics. In a normal academic environment, no one talks about these industrial stuff because there's a
Mm,
vast difference in the academia as well as the industrial things which these people are doing. Like in academics, we focus more on, we have to remember every each and everything in order to gain the credits, to gain the good numbers, good grades. But in industry, we just want to know the things, what it's doing, and we want to implement the thing. It doesn't matter whether we knew the full form of something or, as said by the world famous 𝗕𝗫𝗍𝗍, one of the best mainframer I ever know, that we don't
mm,
want to know like what is ISPF, the full form of ISPF. Even I don't know, but you should know what ISPF do. That's
that's
what he
right.
told in one of his courses.
Wow. That's, you literally could write an entire book on what you just said. Touches home so deeply. It's all about your determination, right? And how you want to develop this skill and your career, and how you're perceived in the media. And so, because mainframers, we're a very small group of practitioners, right? Not everybody can do this, but those who are called to it, they are the best. So I really appreciate your determination. Um, so my next question for you is, can you describe your current role and responsibilities as a mainframe evangelist? I know that you are a super duper IBM champion. So tell us a little bit more about that.
So currently, I hold two positions: IBM Z Systems Ambassador Captain and IBM Champion for 2023 for Z Systems. I attend various
Yay.
workshops and learning sessions with other global ambassadors to learn about IBM Z Systems and trending technologies such as machine learning, data analytics, and cloud computing, and how they can be implemented on Z Systems. I also create mainframe related content on LinkedIn and speak at various events, such like doing now.
Right.
In addition, I provide guidance to students interested in mainframe technology by answering their queries. My aim is to raise awareness about this legacy technology, direct students to various resources which are already available, and assist them in learning industry recognized badges to improve their future employability. Because we all know this is the era of credly and digital badges. We all the
Yep.
companies from Microsoft, IBM, Amazon, they are dependent on these credly recognition badges, and they could be a skill badge or a professional certificate. Both have different weightage, both have different values, but the main thing is you're learning something. You start from the least thing and you go to the top.
That's it. That is it. And that's why I think, for me, I love the fact that you comment so much on LinkedIn and you contribute so very much, right? And it just shows that you're really engaged. It shows that you care. And like you said before, the companies really, they know that you know something, but they don't need to know everything that you know. They want to know if you care and care enough about the platform to keep it boosted and to keep it secure. And I think that you're doing that and sharing that with others. I think that's amazing. And let's see, I would like to ask you, there was one question that I highlighted here. I want to know, can you walk us through like a typical day in your job, or rather your school day? What does that look like?
So first of
Because you're
all, I
busy.
regularly spend, yeah, I am busy. I'm a hell lot of busy. I'm not getting any other spare time to do other recreational activities. So I dropped everything. I used to play guitar. I was a singer. I dropped everything because after champion, I think I should focus more on my career because now I can't do any of these. So I dropped a lot of activities which I used to do previously, like playing guitar, singing, and roaming around here and there in nature just to to gain peace. That inner peace
Yes.
is really important. Mental health.
Yes. Hmm.
So I regularly spend a considerable amount of time on LinkedIn, checking out various learning opportunities and getting some mainframe news and other important tech related information. Because I think
Hmm.
it's not just about mainframes. If we should not be narrow minded, we should be like, I should know everything, not just mainframe, because mainframe needs modernization. And if mainframe need modernization,
Ooh.
we need the latest development in place. So we nowadays we are using the Java and all this stuff
Hmm.
which are currently in use. Like Java is one of
Hmm.
the most popular development kind of programming language where it's used. So yeah,
Hmm.
COBOL is still good, but obviously for development purposes we need Java. So there's all the things which we need to know and understand. I
That's
brainstorm content ideas for LinkedIn and write blogs on various topics, including mainframe, opportunities in tech, data science, and more. And for that opportunities in tech, I think it would be really beneficial. What's my point of view for that would be nowadays I increase the number of posts I posted every month just because I thought Rituraj, back in the first year of my college, I got some opportunity. I saw somewhere there's an IBM Z Systems Ambassador program. So I applied and I got selected, and now I am champion. So similarly, if someone is getting that opportunity, for to avail the opportunity, you should know about the opportunity. Like something like that exists. So if you know
hmm
that this thing already exists, you should apply. So I always encourage, don't see like whether you are having the capability or not. You just try and apply. The worst case scenario would be you will not be selected. That's totally fine, because I think the main loser would not be the person who is uh, just losing the game. The main loser in my eyes would be the person who didn't apply, who's afraid
Oh,
of taking that. That's a really big thing for me. And
wow.
I want
Yes.
to
And
create,
say it louder.
yeah, I want to
Say it
create
louder.
the content also in the data science and AI. And nowadays
Hmm.
we are hearing about what's an AI and IBM. So I want to expand my knowledge in that domain. And
Very
additionally, I
nice.
attend my university classes regularly. So now I'm here at my university thing, and I have to complete assignments on time to get the credits completed. And apart from that,
Obviously.
I also engage in learning something new about different topics. Like someone may think I am just knowing about mainframe or talking about mainframe. It's not like that. I just explore different emerging trends and even normal things, like I explore mainframe technology, general computing principles, as well as food and lifestyle. Who doesn't like that?
Mhm. Yeah. So it sounds like it's a pretty even balance, right? Just a little of this, a little of that, and learning as much as you possibly can. And of course, giving back. And I think that that's what makes you so different is the fact that you literally contribute. You contribute knowledge on various topics, and people are engaging this. How does that make you feel to
I
know that
think
people are
like
appreciating you?
I feel is like I always say, whether I get like or I don't work for likes, because I know it's LinkedIn, it's not on Instagram or Facebook. So
Right.
I don't just work for likes, because if I would work for like, I will be disappointed eventually. So what I
Right.
think is I see the impressions. If people are seeing it, that's it. If after seeing thousands of people are seeing it, even a single person applies, that's the good part, because now that
Right.
person is knowing about a new opportunity. Like I recently posted a thing about Kaggle. Kaggle is having some good mentorship program for data science practitioners and
Mhm.
people who want to get started in this field. So it's not just about me, it's also about data science people, so they can get benefited from this program. So there I got
Mhm.
an engagement from a girl. She already completed that program, so she already recommended that program to everyone. So I think that's how people engage. Like, you need opportunities. If the person is not getting opportunity, the talent is lost.
That's right. That's right. And the more opportunities that there are, folks will, I'm telling you, I feel like people will literally gravitate. They have to. Like you can't hear about, oh, this is so cool, or hybrid cloud, or security, or whatever the case may be. You can't hear about it and not be curious, right? You have to want to it just makes you want to go and look at it and discover more about it, and I appreciate that about you. So my next question is a little off topic, but it's on topic, and we've covered it a little bit. So what do you think are some of the most common misconceptions that people have about mainframes, and how do you address them?
So some of the most common misconceptions about mainframes are that they are outdated and no longer in use, slow and unable to handle modern workloads, difficult to program and maintain, and are pretty expensive. So some of them would be really true, like it's really expensive, but there is a reason for that. Like I say, people, if you are considering the expense, then there would be a more thing you have to consider, that for mainframe the acquiring cost is higher, because the companies and the clients are just seeing the acquiring cost of the servers while comparing mainframe with x86, the distributed computing thing. So when we have the mainframe, now we have to buy this $1 million computer. So these companies are not willing to pay so much in the initial levels. But the main problem with that would be single or double mainframe can replace hundreds of x86 servers. So how does it become a cost effective solution? So the thing is, each and every server requires licensing, have some licensing cost. And for an x86 server, we need multiple licensing cost. We have to give that multiple licensing cost each and every year. So if I have 100 servers, I have to pay licensing cost for each and every server every year. So there is an added cost. For a mainframe, there would be one or two mainframes. So you are paying the licensing cost for only two mainframes. So there would be a cost cutting out there. Then again, there would be one more thing, that you are just seeing this whole licensing cost. Other thing would be, people who are maintaining the mainframes are very less, because you just need one super specialized technician to just handle a single mainframe or a double. But for servers, hundreds of servers can't be managed by only 2 or 3 people. They would be requiring maybe minimum of 5 to 10 engineers. So they have to pay them, and in that way they are just giving out almost equal money when we compare it with mainframes over the span of 5 to 10 years. So if you say the long term thing, then there's a long term cost saving in mainframe. And nowadays they are just changing the whole thing. Mainframes are affordable as ever, like they are having that rack mount and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 in Linux. So that's really a good initiative by IBM. Like, what is the main problem with people would be, most of the clients would be seeing the initial cost, and that's the main con of the mainframes. Like, they are not seeing the long term view of it. So that's a bit of a downside of mainframes for them, but it's really not a downside when we see the bigger picture. Which,
That's right.
while some IT vendors may have negative perception about mainframes, like I recently in our university, it's a real time experience. There a person from Salesforce. He told me like Salesforce is a CRM. So I had the whole thing sparked in my mind. Hey, IBM is also a CRM company. They are not technically CRM. They are doing a lot of things. IBM is a hybrid cloud and an AI company. They also having that quantum computing and mainframes. But Salesforce is a company specialized in CRM. So they have their own technologies behind it, and they don't even have their own infrastructure. So they are dependent on AWS. So now these people just say that mainframes have no significance, no career out of it, because we have all these promising developer roles at Salesforce. So what is the main problem with that is, the IT vendors are just spreading the negative perception about mainframes, particularly because they are promoting their own technologies competing directly to mainframes. Both are servers. So brands are competing amongst themselves to just win. But I really like AWS in this aspect, because recently I got to know that in the hybrid cloud infrastructure arrangement, IBM and AWS had a collaboration. Like, why not to give the clients best of both worlds? The things like
Why
business
not?
processing, yeah,
Yeah.
things like business processing could be done on mainframe. But the other things which will not require those resources, that level of resiliency and performance, let's just go with x86. That would be really good. And I think like mainframes should, IBM and other mainframe vendors are continuing to innovate and modernize their platforms to keep up with the changing business needs. So the mainframe like S360 was the first mainframe ever. So it's not like they have not developed it. They have tremendously
Mm-hmm.
improved the performance, the design, and this year they even won the design awards in that category. So really, that's one of the things they are doing. And why to modernize? Just to be to make the mainframe more agile and flexible. So initially, for many years, mainframes were agile, but for
Mm-hmm.
flexibility, now they introduced something known as the smaller version of mainframe rack mount. And I really liked it because now it's much more flexibility to the clients.
Right. And I love what you were talking about as far as the big picture and the cost effectiveness of mainframe hybrid cloud. When you think about it, really, you either pay now or pay later, don't you? So that's a huge uh, benefit there, and I love that you brought that out. So let's move forward, and I really am wondering, what are some of the key skills and attributes that you believe are necessary for success within this space?
So technical knowledge is one of the most important aspects of becoming a successful mainframe technologist. Like this includes understanding the technical aspects of operating systems on these systems, such as ZOS, ZVM, Linux, etc. Currently, my focus is on learning about Linux on mainframes through interskill learning. And with time, I hope to complete this learning path and become a certified Linux specialist on mainframe.
Nice.
Analytical thinking also plays a significant role in solving complex challenges. Mainframe technologies must have the ability to analyze larger data sets and identify patterns that can be useful in problem solving. Last year, while completing various challenges from foundations to advanced on IBM Z Explore, I was able to develop my analytical thinking skills significantly. I still remember the days when I was stuck at a particular challenge and now I am thinking for 2 to 3 days. Now I am not able to complete this challenge in this moment. Just skip the instance. After 1 or 2 days, I again try, and that's the whole idea. You're thinking continuously towards a particular goal, how to solve this particular challenge. So when you think a lot, then you have the particular tendency to get those ideas eventually. If you
Mm-hmm.
depend on someone, I always say, like, if someone teach you IBM Z Explore, and if you have a tutorial completely, because they're eventually giving you every hint. If you are following a tutorial and completing it, then in that case you are not learning something, you're just copy pasting the whole thing. Like you are
Woo!
just copying the main person who is doing it. So I think
That's
that's the
right.
best thing. IBM didn't launch any tutorials for Z Explore. I don't think that's a good option because now everyone would be completing it, whether they know
Mm-hmm.
or not. Like when you do it yourself, if you are advanced batch certified, obviously you did it yourself. if
That's
if
right.
I will be having a YouTube video on that, I suppose there is a YouTube video out there, like last year someone uploaded. But still, if so, in that case, if people are seeing that and after watching videos, everyone can complete advanced batch, so what's the differentiating factor? Now there would be a big problem out there. And
Right.
as in any other field, communication skills are crucial for mainframe technologists to effectively communicate with team members and stakeholders. Finally, I believe that lifelong learning, which is like the main essence, is in lifelong learning. And for
Yes.
that, my inspiration would be Darren Search, like the main person for the CEO of Interskill Learning. He always talks about lifelong learning, the benefits of digital badging, and how it's so essential for a mainframer to stay up to date with latest technologies and advancement in industry. I will not say just for mainframer. Lifelong learning in today's era will be equally important in each and every field, whether it be fashion, design, food, and businesses. Everywhere we need to learn consistently to stay competitive in the market.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I love that you referenced Darren, the CEO of Interskill. I saw a talk. I saw one of his talks at Share, and I remember him talking about we have to have a community of learners, and we have to be able to accept that everyone that is within this particular space or whatever your space is, that you must be learning considerably, like up to maybe like 80 hours a year. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot. It's like what, 15 minutes a day, something like that. But still, it's so integral, especially within technology. And there's so many offerings for inner skill, right? So many different courses that a person can take. So the moment that you get in, and how fortunate are you to be able to have access to that, because you could literally go down the laundry list and just, it might take a year or two, but you could literally go and get almost all of the badges, learn as much as you want, right? And blog about it, talk about it. And when you are working, it helps everything to click, especially when you're talking with your mentors. I know that's how it helped with me. So yeah, you've got to have that community of learning. So I want to ask you just two more questions. And I want to make sure I get this one right. Can you share a personal or professional accomplishment that you're particularly proud of, or something that's really meaningful to you?
So for me, my greatest achievement thus far would be becoming an IBM champion. While I have achieved various accomplishments in academic and extracurricular activities in the past, this achievement is on another level. Like the major reason for this is the brand associated with it. After all,
Yeah.
who doesn't know IBM? It's a company that is more than 111 years old and still maintains its legacy. I hope that IBM champion title will be adding immense value to my resume whenever I get out there in the IT market for a job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. IBM Champion is the creme de la creme, if you will, of any of the programs. When you hear, oh, that person's an IBM champion, you immediately recognize that they are one of the best in their field. And so I salute you and I applaud you for your nomination. And I love that, and your acceptance of being an IBM champion. I love that you contribute so much. The advocacy effort for technology, period, not just mainframe, but your entire scope is phenomenal. And that's one of the reasons why I reached out to you, because I really wanted to know, I'm like, what is happening over there with him that he can just focus so heavily? And you've proved it, and you've told us today, it's, again, back to the 4 to 5 years. Is it worth 4 years of learning, and growing versus doing what a lot of traditional students are doing? So yeah, I applaud you for that. So I want to know, because I know that you're going to get your master's. I know that you're on track, way ahead of schedule. What's your dream job?
Okay, so this might feel a very different kind of answer. Like generally people don't say it, but my dream job is to become the CEO of a tech company, and that's what I wished when I was quite small. Like I was in 7th or 8th standard. Then I used to see people like Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, and saw that these are Indian origin CEOs for a company based in United States. So these folks started their career from India. They studied in India. They shifted to US. They studied there, and now they are the leaders, the global tech leaders of two of the biggest companies. And not to mention IBM CEO 𝗪𝗏𝗔𝗠, again Indian. So all these people from India, they are the great leaders of great tech companies out there. So why can't I be one of them? Like one more company CEO, again Indian, which is not a very different thing nowadays, because nowadays everyone knows Indian CEO is very common nowadays. Most of the companies have Indian CEOs, good companies. So I'm passionate about business, leadership, strategic decision making, and technology. I'm not into the idea of doing that 9 to 5 job regularly, but I am more into knowing each and every stuff, leading teams, and bringing the people together in order to get the particular outcome. And that's what I think executive do at any level, the seniority level, where the executive is doing his job. His main work is to not to write something like a piece of a code or draw something. It's just about executing the plan in a proper and strategic way in order to build the business. Because the
Mm-hmm.
main thing at the end would be, is your business profitable? No one asks
Mm-hmm.
whether your app is, what is your app is doing. What clients need is they want to meet their demands in the lowest possible cost, and we have to deliver it on time. So that's what I want to do in future. So from the beginning, I want to do this thing. I should know all these things, but in future, in the like 20 to 30 years from now, I want to become a CEO of a tech company. So I can't say I will become, I will say I want to become, because no one can predict anything.
I'm going to fight you on that one. I'm going to say that you will. You have no idea how inspiring you are, especially to those of us that are continuously still learning, those of us that are new within our jobs in this field, those of us that are new to Z. I really appreciate your determination. I love that this is your dream job. You want to become a CEO. You can want that, but you know what? I just say it. I am going to be a CEO of a tech company. And you know what? You probably more than likely will, because you're just that brilliant. And I salute you. You've done such a wonderful job. And, you talked about 𝗬𝗡𝗡 and your contributions in the new to Z community, which is great. I've gotten a lot of tips and tricks from over there as well. And I love that you're still in school, but you engage at an executive level. You really do. So do you have any shout outs before we end the stream? I've really enjoyed talking to you today. Do you have any shout outs that you'd like to
So
say
for
hello
me,
to?
I would be just giving a shout out to Sudarshana ma'am and Lucas, because these people gave me some tremendous opportunity. For the folks who don't know, like recently I won a mentorship program. Like I wanted a mentorship program at Ambassador, like in the month of March. So they told me like you will be getting 1 hour mentorship. So I told okay, I am interested in these aspects like data analytics, business planning, and all these things. So I was expecting some IBM. Okay, so when Sudarshana ma'am approached me and told me like you want this thing, and she just got the mentorship done by some person whom I didn't know at that time. I searched the profile, and luckily I got to know that she is IBM fellow, and she is the current CTO for DevSecOps in the CIO office at IBM United States. So I thought like, whoa,
Wow.
that's crazy.
I think I
Getting
know
a
who
one
that is.
hour
That's amazing.
getting a 1 hour mentorship from a lady. She's working in the industry for 36 years now at IBM, and people know her because she's the CTO. And I think after CEO, CTO is not very far from that, and it's a really high executive position. So if I
Yeah.
can, if I say I talk to IBMers, that would not be a big thing, but nowadays, but now this is a big thing because IBM known by many, but executive people you don't get chance to meet all of them. And apart from
Mhm.
that, I got opportunities like in the May we would be having an executive roundtable. So I'm sure that I will be selected for that as well. So there are chances of getting vice president of IBM systems out there, like maybe Meredith Stovell or someone else. So that's also another opportunity. And one more opportunity like the open mainframe project. So I recently got approached
Mm.
by Sudarshana ma'am about the being a what you say being a speaker at I Am a Mainframe Podcast by Stephen Dickens. So I thought, oh wait, it's under it's under Linux Foundation, and it's open mainframe project. It's very really worldwide famous. So it's really great for me to have been featured out there. So I told yes, and that's all these opportunities I got just because of the people who care, like Sudarshana ma'am, Lucas. These two people I really want to give shout out. And these people are the people who just gave me some tremendous opportunities, whether it be IBM Z Day, or maybe that CTO thing, or maybe open mainframe project, or maybe the executive roundtable. Everything, these four opportunities would be the biggest till now, and I don't know what to expect in the future. The biggest part of me would be I don't expect anything because I don't know anything what to expect. because it's not a traditional path. Even I know that what I am doing is very strange. Even I didn't thought that I will do that, but I am doing it because
It's
I
unique.
got
It's
it.
not strange.
Yeah, it's strange because I never thought I just got the things. I kept on doing all the things, and now I'm doing something which I can't go back from here. I always say to people now, if even if I think of going back, I am in like midway. So either you can't go back, like even if it's midway, you have walked a lot, now you just walk and reach the destination. That is the whole thing.
That's it. Step by step, day by day. I'm so excited for you, Rituraj. I'm so excited for you because the future is very bright for you. And I just let me be first to say thank you for your contributions. I love your blog. Anybody out there who is on LinkedIn, try to connect with this individual because they are up and coming and full of knowledge and hungry for more. And I just cannot wait until I get to hear you say, I am the CEO of the tech company. So Rituraj Mahato, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And I hope that you have a really lovely day. And thank you to all of you for joining. All right. We'll talk to you soon.